Hello. Welcome to the dressing room. Shall I show you around? Okay. So all the clothes go this side, mainly. And then this side, we've got bags and shoes. And in here, we've got jewellery. And the point of this is that I can come in, find a piece of clothing, find a bag to go... Hello.
Can I just have a word quickly? I'm sorry to interrupt. I know you're doing important stuff in your changing room.
While they're here.
Yeah. We'll just grab a quick word.
Yeah, what?
I'm a bit worried, TBH, because it's sort of all rattling on, innit? And I sort of have to do it all, and I don't really think I'm in a position to... I mean, couldn't I have your clients? Because that would make it kind of much more doable for me.
Let me tell you why we can't do that. Normally I would do that if we were doing something like this. But we're trying to show here that other people can do this without having my client base. Otherwise, what's the point? And remember that if you were anyone else...
Yeah, but can we do it on the slide?
No, because if you were anyone else, you would have to do this on your own. And I honestly, properly believe that anyone can make money from their own business without having a massive client base at the start. We all know people. You know people.
I know, but here's the thing, right? Firstly, I thought this was quite a bit of a laugh at the beginning. And I know it is, but it's also like a real thing now. And secondly, my mates are like football mates, and they're like, go to the pub and get drunk mates. They're not like, oh yeah, I pay some money to write me a book.
Think that, but think about how many people you have on your Facebook. This is exactly what
not many
clients. Yeah, but you do have some. Some of them have businesses or want businesses. If they do, they're an ideal client. We're going to go through ideal client later today, and you'll see. You'll be all right.
I just can't see it. I can't see that my mates are like, want to have businesses and want to pay money for a book. I can't see it.
You have mates that have businesses. You're just too scared to talk to them. Remember as well, when I started, like, I wasn't confident.
You were quite.
I wasn't confident. I had to be ballsy and muster up this kind of confidence because of my past. Like, I didn't feel like I had everything sorted out. No one ever starts a business feeling like they had everything sorted out. I definitely didn't.
I just think you've got more traits in your personality makeup that are aligned with doing
They're learned traits. I have clients who are complete introverts. I have clients who have never gone live before.
That is true, yeah.
The fact of the matter is, you are going to have to do it. You are going to have to find someone as a beta client. You're going to have to, because we need that one person. It doesn't matter what you think, that's what's got to happen.
It's still my inherent doubts about that. I'm not the man to do this. And the more, I suppose what it is, we started off, it was kind of fun, and it was a bit of it wasn't really like an actual tangible thing, and now it's becoming a real thing, and proper businessy things are happening. And that's why I think I'm struggling a little bit.
Sam always comes to me when he's struggling with something. It is what he does. That's kind of our roles, is he doesn't often feel confident with doing things like this. Even in my business, he's a copywriter in my business, and he's constantly asking for positive affirmation, and I'm not very good at that. It's why Karen works for me, because she's good at pandering to people. I'm just like, it's your job, just go on and do it. But he's always saying, you don't tell me if something's really good. I'm like, I just expect it to be really good. So I get why he's come to me and he's worried. I honestly think he can do this, but it does push him out of his comfort zone, but it pushes all of my clients out of their comfort zone. That's just life. Guys, we're just going to go into the living room and just talk a bit about ideal client, because Sam's struggling with who we're going to have as beta client. So let's try and work out the ideal client first. We'll go from there. Ideal client is really important. Loads of people go into business without ideal client, not knowing who they want to work with. But the problem is, if you're trying to appeal to everyone, you will appeal to nobody. We know that knowing who we're speaking to, especially online, makes a massive difference. So yeah, it's really important to work out the ideal client. You don't have to these days write like 100 sentences about them like we used to, but you need to know what your niche is and who they are. So if we're going to find this beta client, then we need an ideal client first. We need to work out, like we always say, we need to know who the ideal client is. And I think we kind of know who it is, really. But I want to make sure we're all on the same page with it, and that you definitely are, so that when you're looking for this ideal client, you know who you're looking for. Because you seem to think that you don't know anyone.
I know people.
Yeah, but you seem to think you don't know people that want this. The fact that Sam's not had a business, though, means he's not going to be exactly his ideal client, because it's people who are so we know that. So it's people that are business owners.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have anyone that's not a business owner.
And I think they need to have a story to tell.
Do we care about the gender or non-gender?
No.
No gender. Age?
35 to any age. I think that I'd like people who can remember what a business card was.
Geographically, do they need to be somewhere? Look at demographics now. Geographical area.
You mean like UK, worldwide? I think I'd have a better connection with regard to cultural references, that kind of thing for UK. But I have, not got huge doubts that we could do it for people.
Then I say we don't specify UK and we go global.
Yeah.
Sales page, though, if you think you're going to get more UK sales page, will go pounds rather than dollars. So the cost of this is actually pretty good, because we're looking at it's going to cost them £2,500 for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And although they might look at that as like the book costs £25 per book because we're giving them 100 books, such a maths whiz.
Amazing. Even if you're starting off a business, right, £2,500, I know it's still a chunk of money, but it's not beyond the reaches of most people to think, there's 100 books, right, that could be 100 new clients. Yeah. Surely that £2.50 a book is worth the spend.
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't have to be. In fact, it's probably more likely to be people near the beginning of their journey than people who are hugely successful, because they would have other avenues of visibility and connections and stuff.
People who are higher earners will make a quicker decision about it. At 2,500, they'll be like, yes, I'm going to just test this and have this, and I'm going to throw 100 out there, and it'll be a fun thing for my clients too. Everyone's going to love it, and I'll get visibility and PR. I think if you're lower, you probably need to be in business about a year, I would say.
Let's not
clearer on your messaging.
I agree. So let's not talk to people who are wanting to start a business.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that would be their priority, would it, at that point?
No.
We probably haven't niched it as much as we could have done.
In previous discussions that we've had, Lisa, we've talked about being an ideal client and having like over 100 points on every single little thing, but I don't think that's really necessary.
I think we've got a really good idea of who we're going to be aiming this at and selling it to.
I think maybe what the niche is here is that you're writing it for them. There's a lot of people that do publishing, but they don't write the book for you. You are.
And proofread it, and give suggestions on tone and content and that kind of stuff.
So the niche is, it's a copywriter writing your book.
Getting the ideal client right and then finding one to use as my beta is really important, because it's kind of everything stems from that. If we don't know who it's for, then I won't be able to create the copy for the branding, the sales page, all of that stuff. So we won't be then attracting the right people. Once we know who it's for, we can focus it all on that.
Sometimes you're not exactly sure on the ideal client until you do start putting it out there and see who you attract. So it's a bit of a chicken and egg thing.
Yes, mate. Yeah. So, yeah, nice one. So here's the thing, right? You run a business and you're quite sort of entertaining, and you've got a story to tell, and that's why I think you could actually be my kind of guinea pig here. I think it would work really well, and you could. You what? What do you mean Canada? When did you tell me this? Last Saturday night? Oh yeah, to be fair, that Saturday night's a little bit of a blur, to be honest. So you're in Canada and you're not going to help me? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, okay. Awesome, all right. Well, you've been no help at all, mate, to be fair. But have a great time, and I will see you when I see you. All right, see you later. Bye. That's the best part of the day, Everyone wants one. It's not just me. Look, see, it's not just me, is it? There's no I in team, but there's a. Oh no, I can't. It's got me a minute. Oh no, there's no I in team, but there's a T in team. So put the kettle on. See?
A
Tea joke. One of my own.
He missed it.
One of my own. We're thinking about who we could use, and I struggled with it a bit, but after meeting with the team, we think we've come up with the ideal candidate. So let's find out. I'm going to go and give him a call now, and we'll see how it goes. Scotty, how are you, mate? Yeah, not bad. Look, I've got a bit of an idea. It's a bit of a random one, but I think you're my man, and I'd like to have a little chat with you about it. Yeah? Cool. Okay, I'll come grab you. Be there in about 10 minutes, yeah? All right, mate. See you later. Bye. Bye.
It's a clean car for someone who has kids.
Kinda. I think I found the guy. The guy.
You guys can edit out anything that'll get me cancelled, right? Yeah. Sure. My name is Scott Rickson, and Sam and Lisa are buddies. My wife Samantha's.
Scott. Hi. Yeah, that actually makes perfect sense. Perfect.
Scott is so important to this whole project because he has got an amazing story to tell.
Well, I think the story that Sam would want me to tell happened about 11 years ago now. I very fit, very athletic. I was a personal trainer, still am to be fair, and I wasn't feeling 100%, but had been a normal day, gone for a run in the morning like I would ordinarily go for a run in the morning, worked like I would ordinarily have worked, and put my daughters to bed, and then just had a heart attack and died. That was it. Now, fortunately, my wife was able to keep me around. That's why I have to do all of the washing up now. And I got diagnosed with a condition called arrhythmogenic right ventricular cardiomyopathy dysplasia, which essentially means that I got a ban from exercising. They put a pacemaker in my chest, and they said from this point forwards, I was no longer allowed to purposefully exercise. Now, obviously, I pushed back against that for a while, but unfortunately, every time I did, it always ended up with me back in the hospital. So, being a family man and having a business, it was time to sort of knuckle down and decide on what it is I was going to do. Now, being a personal trainer and not being able to exercise is sort of like being an alcoholic but working in a brewery, right? You're just surrounded by it all day. And I had a decision to make. Did I keep being a personal trainer? Or did I do something else? Now, the smart money is on doing something else. However, I've never actually been that smart. So I decided that I was going to double down and get my own business.
The reason that we think you'd be a great beta client for this is because this book is going to help businesses really get their visibility out there by showing you not just your framework, but your story. Now, we don't think that you need a whole book to do this. It could just be a mini book that people get the maximum amount of info, but they're left wanting more. Sometimes I think in these big books, people read the whole book and then they're like, well, I don't need to work with this person anymore. It's all in there.
I'm flattered that you think that there is a big book's worth of stuff here. I'm thinking like a leaflet, like a pamphlet, which is mostly images.
Yeah, somewhere in between. No images, no colouring in.
Not a lot of pop-up bit.
But as you're the first person doing it, obviously we're not going to charge you for doing it. You'll get 100 books out of it, but you need to tell us along the way what could be done better.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
Happy, sold.
I mean, you're not very confident in telling people when they're doing stuff wrong, are you? Being such a mild kind of character.
I dance around it mostly,
Yeah.
but I promise I won't.
Okay, yeah,
For you,
we
Sam.
will need to know. Yeah, Scott's going to be really valuable to it because as the beta, we could call him our guinea pig if you like, and I think he's valuable because we needed someone that I had a bit of a connection with because this is a learning process for me. Now, if I'd have just gone in straight in, fully fledged with a random kind of client, I think it could have been problematic. Here we get to iron out those kind of creases, smooth things over, so when we do hit the ground, we hit the ground running.
I've recently taken on a much bigger facility and I'm looking to grow. And Sam tells me he might be able to help, so let's see.
Okay, so I think what you two now need to do is spend some time working out what the story is going to be that's going in there, what do you think would make a good book for Scott?
I think there's a balance here. There's the story, the backstory of you and how you came to be doing what you're doing now. But I also think there's a bit about how you do what you do.
Right.
Because you do it differently to your average gym owner, I would say.
Do you think there's genuine interest there?
I do. And I think because I have seen it firsthand, I've seen the success you've had by doing it differently. And I think that's a model that other business owners could follow.
Okay.
And you've got to remember that people who are in business or people that are interested in health, which is what you promote, you don't need to have a massively, everyone thinks you have to have this groundbreaking story and this groundbreaking way of doing things. You just need to be human, and people are interested in human stories and how they did their business and how it's gone so far. That's the kind of book that people want to read. They don't want to read about someone that's so far away from what they're doing. They want to read about how they could do things and what's in it for them, kind of thing. And I think we can get that out of your book.
He's a successful business owner. He is charismatic. He thinks he's funny. He's sometimes funny, but he thinks he's funny. He's the only other person, mate of mine, to ever hit a 1080 in the pub.
Or you just take a photo of that and that's the front page of your resume, isn't it?
So I think he's the perfect candidate, really, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. There you go. There was one. There you go.
Oh, he's a good guy.
That's a bit more like it.
But hold on, you can edit that, right? You don't have to be thrown from back there, Sam.
Right, I'm going to press play 2, play again.
It's back in the day where that was enough story for an entire game.
250k on the leg press. That's what I'd do. That's the top on your machine, 250, I think.
So this is a book all written, is it?
This is
All
like
done.
building the story.
Like 10 minutes.
This is the background. Could be.
Can you blame us?